Joining me on India First are three men who've served extensively. They've commanded their soldiers. Colonel Rohit Dev is a former mechanized infantry commanding officer. Group Captain MJ Vinod, a former Mirage 2000 fighter pilot. And Captain DK Sharma, former Indian Navy spokesperson and commander. But Colonel Dev, I want to begin by asking you, the Zorawar light tank, the futuristic infantry combat vehicle, all for high altitude India-Tibet line of actual control. What's the messaging here?
Gaurav, I'm very happy. And personally, if you ask me, the moment I read about the FICV getting clearance, I go back to my days in the tank technology course when I first made the GSQR as an individual for the FICV, and which got a little bit of promotion through our directorates, and today it's seeing the light of the day. So for the light tank, because I was also part of the study for the light tank in the Armored Corps Center and school when I was posted there. So both are very close to heart. And I'm happy it's happening because in the 7 terrains which are accorded to our military in the domains of our territory and around our territory, I think the LAC is a very upcoming volatile territory where the Chinese are going to have a lot of interaction with the Indian forces on the Tibetan plateau. And with the platforms like these two specifically, you gain the advantage of air portability. You can be also heliported in terms of the contents and the weight, if you see, of the futuristic ICV as well. And you will be able to be inducted into the plateau at will. So as India is going ahead, and I'm quite sure the other two gentlemen here will also talk about their arm, I see a very good synergy developing between the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force in particular, for the LAC sector, where you will have everything from somewhat, I will not use the word predator drones, but striker drones, coming down to mobile elements inside, coming on to AD, which is much more portable.
Okay.
And that's the way the warfare is going to be fought along the LAC.
That's a very interesting point you make, sir. You're talking about India not fighting defensive, but taking the battle into the adversary's camp. Group Captain Vinod, after the Balakot airstrikes, did India really miss having a longer range beyond visual range missile and long range guided bombs? What do you make of the IAF demand, especially given the nature of the threat?
Gaurav, as you can see, I'm standing virtually right in front of Raksha Mantralaya, and I'm extremely happy for this 82,127 crores or whatever the number is, where the acceptance of necessity has been given by the Defense Acquisition Council, also known as DAC. And I am more happy, Gaurav, because some of the files probably, I moved is also part of this major and minor AONs that has been accorded. And most of it, and to my glee and happiness, is towards Atmanirbhar Bharat or Make in India, or and I've been thinking and probably peeved and probably affected by foreign purchases for major part of my career. I'm sure other two gentlemen will also echo the same.
Yes.
Let me take our viewers back to what happened post Pokhran 2.
Yes.
Pokhran 2, all these foreign weaponaries that we bought, they all clamped down on us.
Yes.
We didn't have spares for Jaguars coming in. We didn't have spares for Mirage 2000 coming in.
Yes.
Even, Russia for a while did not give us spares for our many aircraft, including the transport aircraft.
Yes.
That is the time, and I was probably slightly ignorant at that time, but I had faced the brunt. I mean, at that time, our country had faced the brunt, our services had faced the brunt of the military sanctions that was put on us, including China and Australia.
That's a very
I don't
big
know
point.
what they sold to us.
That's a very big point you're making, sir. You're absolutely right. And as Captain DK Sharma will tell us better, being in the Indian Navy faced the brunt. Our Sea King and Sea Harrier fleet was virtually grounded post Pokhran. But Captain Sharma, explain the concept of the high endurance autonomous vehicle that's been cleared in this DAC or the Defense Acquisition Council by the Raksha Mantri. Is it only about domain awareness but a very clear signal to expansionist forces should they attempt to come in the Indian Ocean region. India dominates every inch, not just of the surface, but subsurface operations. Captain Sharma.
Good evening, Gaurav, and good evening to all your viewers. This is a very important thing which has got cleared yesterday. I must tell you that in our waters, you must have heard, read, and seen that the Chinese fleet, when they come over here, they have been using sea gliders.
Yes.
This is something like that which is launched by the submarines or by any other means, and then that is used to do reconnaissance, surveillance, and many other things which I can't bring out in open what all do they do. But yes, we were looking for things like these, and it's I also can share with you that these things are no more going to be imported. Two big giants of India, one a private sector and one defense PSU, have already made these things happen, and this autonomous underwater vehicle has been demonstrated over the past 12 months.
Yes.
And it is going to be a huge thing. You see, it is going to become an interface between the surface forces and the submarines which are lurking down below. The information in real time will be transferred. Whatever the ships are looking at, it is a task. If the boat has to come up, the boat's position goes out. But if you have a AUV somewhere in between, which is relaying it,
yes,
it is going to become a very great interface. And apart from this can also do the reconnaissance operations for you before any landing is going to take place. And this is in the concept of amphibious operations, that should there be a requirement to go and survey a beach, or find out the gradients and various other things and what is a suitable landing point. This is the AUV which will do the job, get us all the data from there, and also probably will guide the special ops teams real time. So this is where the jump is going to happen. The jump is going to happen this, and other things which have been cleared are the naval anti-ship missiles. These are going to be used with the new MH-60 Romeos, and also these missiles will be used. And Gaurav, in your show only you explained in May 22 when they were first time fired from ITR Chandipur.
Yes.
So they have now been cleared, and the AON goes out now. Now it's only time is to sign the contract and take it in your inventory and keep it ready.
And
so
that's the big point. How quickly will they become a part of our armed forces? Now, remember, that's exactly why we have 3 officers who've commanded men on ground, in the air, and out at sea, because they are the ones who've given orders in battle on ground. Now, Colonel Dev, what about timelines? Let's talk about main battle tank Arjun. That took forever to make. Will Zorawar be a different story, especially now that we are told trials are scheduled for perhaps 6 months from now, mid-2023?
I don't see major delays, Gaurav, in the Zorawar, because the DRDO organization has been working on it for a little time now. And the ARD and the VRD also, who look after the tanks and the ICBs respectively, have got enough documents for the last about 12 years to at least create prototypes. I have seen a few prototypes myself.
Yes.
So I think now with the refined GSQR for the light combat tank or even the FICV, it should not take that much of time and should come through. But the other point I want to mention here about this entire approval of yesterday is that a lot of things, if you see geopolitically and for our economic sustainability in the future, Gaurav, a lot of platforms are still, yet to be gone for in terms of naval assets and the air assets. Okay. You have seen how the Chinese have disrupted the sea lanes, how the costs have gone up globally in terms of commodity and trade, and how their vessel, which we saw that surveillance vessel in Colombo and then gallivanting around the Indian Ocean region.
Okay.
I think the day has come to peg, and that is where I come at, that the overall ambit of our planning for what our capability should be developed as a strategic design, and from that we should flow all these aspects. I'm very happy that last 1.89 lakh crores of the approvals for the last 2 years, we have seen utilization of nearly 1.19, which is a very good thing to happen with our military, because earlier we were surrendering funds. And in the Atmanirbhar route, I think India has to pursue very intelligently to get the niche technologies in. So
Yes.
buy global and make in India is one concept where I think we should pester more harder
No,
and
but you're
get these people
absolutely
to
right.
come and manufacture.
If we need to spend more money, given the nature of the threat, perhaps we need to save money elsewhere, divert funds for elsewhere, and protect our borders. Because once we have protected borders, at least we have a country. Group Captain Vinod, is Make in India actually delivering on ground to the satisfaction of the armed forces? As a concept, it's a great idea. Made in India, weapons to defend India it sounds very beautiful, but does it translate into weapons that will deter the enemy on ground?
It's a great question, Gaurav, and with all humility and the responsibility, I answer this question. And I understand the importance that you're placing on this particular question. Behind me, I put, I mean, if you take me into slightly bigger frame.
Yes.
Behind me, I put this range extension kit, the
Yes.
bomb range extension kit. Now, the center portion is the bomb. It's called the dumb bomb or an unguided bomb.
Yes.
But I want the viewers to notice the front side of this particular dumb bomb where you connect few veins. These veins are alpha beta veins, basically pitch and yaw veins. And on the rear, you have a stabilizing mechanism. And behind that is some kind of a booster. It is a rocket booster. Imagine thousands of such bombs we have. And they just go and drop like a rock. And depending on the aeroplane and the pilot's capability, it goes and hits the target.
Yes.
But then you have something called the circular error of probability. A lot of mathematics goes behind the taking out the CEP. What happens with range extension and accuracy kits is the nose takes care of, that is on this side,
Yes.
takes care of the accuracy, and on this side takes care of the range. This one makes the bomb into a rocket.
Smart. Yeah.
And we have such extension kits which are cheaper to make in India, B, not such a great technology to I worked on it, so I'm saying it.
Okay.
To either master or manufacture, and C, we need it in numbers.
Yes.
And such kits made in India would cost 1/10 to probably 1/50th of the cost than what we are buying from probably Israel or any other country. This is one such example. Second is your surveillance systems that has been cleared.
Yes.
We make exceptional radars at par, or if not better than any other foreign radars, thanks to whatever information and technology that we learned from many other radars that we inducted from France and from Israel and everywhere.
That's
Today,
actually very
DRDO is
heartening to
capable.
hear. That's very heartening to hear. Captain Sharma, the Navy so far has been seen as the most successful of the three services when it comes to implementation of self-reliance in defense manufacturing or Atmanirbhar in defense. But our timelines, and equally important if not more, quality control, an issue that remains even now. Or are we as a country making equipment, as Group Captain Vinod says, that's world-class for self and perhaps even for export?
Gaurav, there is no doubt about it. Recently, last week only, we have commissioned the second ship of the stealth destroyer class,
Yes.
Visakhapatnam class. That ship, let me tell you, and I assure the viewers, it's not anything less than the Alroy Burke class, which is the best destroyer in the world, and we figure out in one of those. We are counted amongst those. That is the kind of technology which is coming out of our own DPSUs. Yes, there were some delays. It's a learning curve. But now you see stealth frigates are coming out, stealth destroyers are coming out, and coming as recently to your list of things which have been cleared yesterday, the multi-purpose vessels.
Yes.
100% it is going to be made in India. Then we are talking about naval anti-ship missiles, 100% DRDO backed, make in India. The autonomous underwater vehicles, again, it is going to be made in India. Nothing is going out. And let me tell you, these are the four major things, and one major thing which has been cleared for the Indian Coast Guard is the OPVs. Of course,
yes.
Again, it is from either the Goa shipyard or one of the shipyards.
Yes.
So 90% of the things which are happening, yes, there are some technologies which we are lagging behind, which will be taken from there. but it's a very, very healthy mix where 90% of the things, or maybe I can say 80+% of the things are getting plowed back in the economy.
That's a very, very big point. Big point you're making, that of these 82,000 crore rupees which is coming back into the system, it actually helps the Indian economy. But Colonel Dev,
it is going to arm us. You see, there are
Yes.
so many startups coming up, so much MSMEs, and you see the amount of focus which is being put on the IDEX, the sprint. It is all towards making the military industrial complex of India up and running. And it is going to happen.
Very important.
Nobody can stop it.
Fingers crossed. Seriously
It is already
crossed.
put in motion, and you will see year on year things are going to come here, and
Yes.
they will be imported from here.
Very, very important for the defense of this country. Colonel Dev, will Atmanirbhar push deter India's adversaries, especially China? And in your appreciation, is this more on paper than on ground, or increasingly it's not just the government that's pushing it, the forces are actually keen on it?
See, Gaurav, a very good point you make, and I will just hint that the disconnect between the analysis of the forces and the requirement which is projected to any government and the government's understanding to take it ahead has certainly got enhanced in the last few years, and that is why you had a change in the procurement procedure as well, called the Acquisition Procedure 2020. That is why you have the government and the military synergy growing, and I see Atmanirbhar from a very, very different perspective. It is not that we will achieve Atmanirbhar Bharat, Gaurav, in the next 2 DAPs or IDAPs or something like that.
Yes.
It's going to take a whole lot of time because technology is to be developed. We have been very
Absolutely.
weak in the research and development for a long time. But when you see the future, and like I said, we need more naval assets and air assets for our own national interest, to point out that defense corridor is coming up in the country. We have been seeing it coming, and it's a reality, right? We have seen the last defense expo. I was there myself just to ascertain one fact, that what is the impact of the government saying that we will deal with only indigenization and people who are willing to come and manufacture in India. And
That's so heartening to hear. That's so heartening to hear an army officer talking about the importance of the Navy and the Air Force in the defense of this country. And this is why young blood will bring a change in our country. Gentlemen, I've run out of time on this part of the show, but many thanks for joining me. This indeed is very heartening. It needs to be pushed. There may be niggles. Those niggles need to be sorted out, especially quality control. That has to be ensured.
Thank you.